Okay, so there's two main developments with regards to my work with key sites and rare species. Firstly, we now have an official agreement, as Tim mentioned, with Forestry Land Scotland to work together on FLS estate to conserve rare dragonfly species. And I think we've got Jonathan to thank for this official agreement, as he greatly raised the profile of dragonflies when working as a ranger for FLS over the last few years. So this map here shows the FLS sites in grey and the rare species in red, such as white-faced darter, northern emerald, azure hawker, northern damselfly, and brilliant emerald. So they're the red dots, and we can see, I'll try not to use my mouse, we can see how important these sites are. So there's over 50 sites with rare species, including Glen Affric being one of the top sites. FLS are also involved in peatland restoration, and we hope we can advise on ways that this can be carried out to benefit dragonflies even further. And the commitment to include work for dragonflies in the delivery programme, that's going to help, that'll involve us helping with on-the-ground management advice, input to their work programmes, and also carrying out staff training. So there's lots and lots, there's a huge amount there's a huge amount here that's going to help our rare dragonflies in the future. And this map here shows our rare bog species in Glen Affric. So the green diamonds are northern emerald, the red markers are white-faced darter, and the orange and yellow ones are azure hawker. And Glen Affric, Glen Affric alone could probably keep me in work for the next 5 years, which would be fine, as I love this area. We used to go on family holidays here when I was a child. So both Andrew and I have been offering advice to estates that are carrying out rewilding. And I was at Eastertire near Aberfeldy recently. So you might remember from a few years ago, I would have talked about this estate. It was owned by Michael McPhail, who did a huge amount of work to help the northern damselfly here. He dug quite a few new ponds, which were then colonised by the northern damselfly. Sadly, he died a couple of years ago, but the new owners are very keen to continue to help this rare dragonfly. So they're going to be digging more pools and removing non-native tree regeneration, which are growing close to the pools. And we're going to hear more about similar projects from James later on when he talks about Northwoods. And we're going to hear more from Sarah later on. Sarah's the conservation manager at Carrower Estate. But I wanted to mention it here, as we're so pleased with the work that's been carried out just a few weeks ago. So as you probably know, surveys for azure hawker and rare peatland species in the Highlands last year found 90% of the habitat had dried up with no surviving life at all, which is obviously extremely worrying. So to help azure hawkers, we plan to trial new pool designs at Carrower Estate in conjunction with Sarah, trying out different sizes, different shapes, different depths to see how the dragonflies colonise them. So with particular reference to azure hawker and white-faced darter, and using the designs for white-faced darter that have been successful in Cumbria. So in February, we had a beautiful sunny day where we went over the locations with the contractor and Sarah, so looked at the designs as well, what would work best in which locations. So there was a dusting of snow on the hills. There was, some of the pools were frozen, and we were very grateful for the sunshine. And this is the drowned kitten sphagnum that's found in the pools that azure hawker prefers. This is Sphagnum cuspidatum, or feathery bog moss. There's Pat with our colander, as always. And so there's also a lot of peatland restoration has been carried out at Carrower, and it looks absolutely amazing. The pools that have developed just look like they'll be excellent for dragonflies. And at the end of March, we spent a couple of days at Carrower where a number of new pools were created and improved. So here's a short video about it and how pleased we were with the results. It does come to a rather abrupt end as my phone ran out of power, I'm afraid, but hopefully I should be able to play this. I'm going to have to move on to my big screen for a second, but I will put this back up in a moment. So our digger driver was amazingly skilled. He's been involved in quite a lot of peatland restoration projects over the past few years. In fact, they are so busy that they can't take on any new work. He's digging out deeper pools here to create refuges. We're very happy, aren't we? The customer was very concerned. Customer food is that 2 years ago had a lot of Azure collaborating about that and we can't do anything Azure collaborating at all. Which one down to 11 lobbies in total in the whole land. So we were thinking that the codes were suffering and quite a few of the codes that signed up and they were resource water had a hard land and they because it didn't look very simple and so they actually also would find those codes and find lobbies and eventually signed up quite a big density. And now we've got schools that have got particular areas that hopefully if they do dry, parts of them dry, then we'll be corrected. And vegetable yeah, and it's amazing, as you said earlier on, how feed it 24 hours, how much water there is in there already. And that's what they were already, there's no exposed heat. Everything that you have to get home for. So we're just going to have to water to get up to what's going on. I think that hello, Pat and Sarah. We're here at Carrower Estate today, and they're both very happy. So they're going to tell us why they're so happy. Sarah, do you want to start off? Tell us who you are and what you've been doing over the past few days.
Yeah, so I'm Sarah Watt, conservation manager at Carrower Estate in Muir in the Highlands of Scotland. And in the last couple of days, we've been taking conservation photos for the because there's been fears over recent drought that the coast of this area will dry up and that might threaten the resident population of both that we have here. One of the so in order to check that being proactive and being thinking of areas I think it's really then that's us protecting them.
Well, that's excellent. And Pat, do you want to say something about what you've seen here today after we had the digger in this area yesterday? So I do apologise for the rather abrupt ending there, thanks to my mobile phone comping out. So I've got a few maps here, well, 2 maps of the areas that we worked on when we were at Carrower. And you can see from this map here that this is the railway station here, with the wonderful pub and restaurant here, well worth a visit, especially if you want to go and do some surveys of these new and deepened pools, because we really need to have that data to see which conditions the Azure Hawker like best, so that we can use that for recommending to other land managers. So these ones are very easy to access from just getting off the train. So I think it's the Glasgow or Edinburgh to Fort William train that you would get, and then the next session is next area is probably about half an hour's walk from the station. It's along a new track that the estate have put in recently. So again, it's quite accessible. So if you want to get involved in carrying out some surveys for any dragonflies that are found in these new pools, because it would be good to chart the colonisation, and please do get in touch with me and we can set up a programme of surveying. So that's all been very exciting, and Sarah's going to tell you a bit more about that later on. She's got some wonderful before and after photos, I think. And I've also been working on phase 2 of the Tayside Ponds project over spring, which it's a partnership project between Perth Kinross Council, the local biodiversity partnership, Tayside Amphibian and Reptile Group, and ourselves, where we improved a number of ponds for wildlife in Perthshire by removing invasive vegetation, mostly bulrush, as you can see in this picture on the right-hand side here, clearing areas of open water for frog spawning mostly, and planting pollinator-friendly native wetland wildflowers for pollinators. And this was a great opportunity to work together with a wide variety of volunteers, from the John Muir Ward, for example, to a local mental wellbeing charity, as well as working with a few schools. And we worked with Perth High School and also Gilton Primary School, who helped out at a few of our ponds. So that's just a snapshot of what I've been involved in. I think I've got a busy year ahead. Quite a lot of work with FLS, hopefully. I'm doing a number of Quayside training events. Got one at Shieldig on June the 16th, and hopefully running quite a few outreach events to celebrate our 40th birthday, which is very exciting. And one of those is going to be at Crombie on July the 2nd as part of Dragonfly Week. So I look forward to seeing you at various events to celebrate the BDS turning 40.